This year we've moved into, since like the end of February, into the year of the fire horse. Last year was the year of the snake, where we're all shedding a lot. I think last year was hard for a lot of people because we were letting go of what no longer served us. Whether
Yeah.
we wanted to or not, the
Yeah.
universal energy was forcing us to do
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And now we've gone into the year of the fire horse. And for me, I can feel a huge dramatic shift in my energy. It's like wild.
Yeah.
And
Same. Same.
something that's been happening for me is the veil has been lifted. Now, I've heard of this for many, many years, and I didn't
Hmm.
really understand what it meant until the last couple of months,
Mm.
where I feel, I mean, I kind of knew, but I've actually experienced it the last couple of months on a huge scale, where things, how I was talking about getting honest with yourself and digging deep. Um, I thought I'd done it before, and obviously, I think we've been doing things in layers.
Hmm.
Healing
Yeah.
is an experience that you go through gradually. It's not something you can do all at once. And I don't think we ever stop healing and we ever stop growing and we never stop learning. So it's all just a part of our human soul evolution and our time here on earth. And that veil being lifted has been me looking deep into myself and seeing what is actually in alignment for me and what I've been ignoring and not wanting to see. And I've actually, I don't know why. Last Up until the last couple of months, I guess I didn't want to look at it. I didn't think I needed to look at it. I didn't even know I needed to look at whatever was there. Like it's been such a weird 2 or 3 months. Like very, very different to my whole life.
That's interesting because I feel like I got that portion at the beginning of my spiritual journey. And that's
Mm,
kind of like what started it was I
mm,
just started seeing everything like without the veil, like from a different perspective. And yeah, like I just everything like shifted. And so it was like I started doing the digging then of like what is my truth? What is true for me? Like all of that because that started for me a long time ago,
mm,
8, 10 years ago. And I think
mhm,
it was spurred on by a relationship that ended.
mhm.
And like that was a really hard patch that I went through. And I was questioning everything. And so I think that was also part of my journey and like beginning, like we're going to go in this direction. Let's begin that process. And so yeah, I had the veil lifting at the beginning of my journey. And so I think that helps in that, I've just been healing and like working through things gradually and I haven't had to deal with that because it can be really hard when you're going along one way and then you see things differently and you kind of have to readjust like the way you're doing things. That can be really hard. Um, but yeah, I had mine earlier, but yeah, man, this year of the fire horse,
I
it
know,
is
you're right.
it is so quick. And I knew it was coming. I even told all my clients, my coaching clients about it. I'm like, heads up, this is coming. And even I have been so surprised at how quick it's coming in. But like even before last year, the year of the snake, like the past, I would say year and a half, 2 years, I've just been on this mega shed. I'm like, I'm shedding everything, every wound, every block, every limiting belief. Like, I just went on this like shedding marathon in my life. And so I think because I got all of that out of the way, intentionally and just organically, that
Mhm,
like when Firehorse started, like we took off. And I'm
mhm.
like, it is. It's the best feeling, and I have so much clarity around everything, but it's also this feeling of like my human self is trying to keep up with
Yeah.
this, like all the ideas and the downloads and all the things I want to do. And like it's coming in so fast that I actually have to tell my spirit guide team, like, hey guys, like I'm a human, don't forget, I need a break. And like I've been
Yes.
taking so many naps. I haven't been
Mhm.
sleeping well a lot of times, like I just
Mm.
go through different periods, but I've
Mhm.
literally had to be like, hey guys, y'all are kicking ass up there, and I'm so proud of you. Like, these ideas are brilliant, but I would need to scale it back a little bit. Like, let me catch up. Let me get this
Right?
stuff done because it's just flowing in so
Hmm.
fast and it's
Uh-huh.
amazing. But even me knowing it was coming, I have
Yeah.
underestimated it. Like, this energy is powerful, so powerful.
Yeah, same. Same. Yes. And I think it's important to know that everyone's going to experience things differently. Like
Yeah.
you're having a very different experience to what I am. And
Mhm.
yes, I've got that forward momentum energy coming through.
Yeah.
And like I said to you the other day, my procrastination just kind of vanished overnight, I feel,
Yeah.
which is fascinating to
Yes.
me. And I feel
Amazing.
like I don't have any enough time to get everything done,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but I really feel like for me, it's triggered a lot of shadow work, this lifting of the veil. So I
Hmm.
think that it's important for people to know that shadow work isn't, and you and I were talking about this the other day, isn't necessarily anything scary or heavy. And another thing that the spiritual world calls it is the dark night of the soul.
Hmm.
And it's not anything to fear, and you probably don't even, a lot of people don't even know they're going through it. And I didn't realize that I was doing shadow work until I was talking to you about this whole concept the other day, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm doing shadow work,
Huh.
yay.
How about that? I'm in the middle of the forest.
It's not even as like bad as what in my head it was. Like I've done it
Yeah.
2 or 3 or 4 times now throughout
Yeah.
my spiritual evolution of my soul and being conscious of it, I guess.
Hmm.
And every time is very different, but I also feel like every time I do it, it gets less and less
Hmm.
heavy, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Hmm.
And I mean, I don't even know if you knew you were going through it when you went through it, did you? Your shadow
No.
work.
No.
See?
I mean, but and like you said, like we heal in layers. I've had different versions of it. I have had like rock bottom, overhaul everything in my life. Let's just completely start over. And then
Mm-hmm.
I've also had, just like you are feeling like all these, just emotions and like different things coming up. But I
Mm-hmm.
really get the message that for you, and the same thing with shadow work. Like, it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be scary. Really, the simplified version of it is it's just stuff that wants to come up and come out and be released that's no longer serving you. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that with, this chapter that you're going through is really just what's coming up, what's coming out, what's no longer serving you, and where you're headed and where you want to go. And so, 2025, the shedding was a lot about that is figuring out where do you want to go and what can come with you and what can't,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, what version of
Yeah.
you do you want to be? And like, you can't take everything with you. It's like when you up and
Mm-hmm.
move across the world, like, you can't take everything with you. You have
Mm.
to purge it down and figure out what's most important to that version of me, what can come with me and what can't. And so a lot of
Mm.
shadow work is just that. It's talking about, okay, what am I growing in? Where am I headed? And what can't come? Like, what's weighing me down back
Mm.
there that's not of love and light anymore?
That's very true. And in my situation, it feels very natural to let go of it.
Hmm.
It's not anything I have to put too much thought into.
Yeah.
It just comes up and then I just work with it consciously. Or the other day, my guides were like, you just need to lay down. And I'm like, well, okay, what do I need to do? And they're like, you nothing. We want you to go to sleep or we want you to meditate and just relax. I'm like, well, that was easy. I
Yeah.
don't know what they did, but I felt better after.
Yeah.
So it
Let them do
doesn't
it.
have to be hard. This
Yeah.
process of releasing and letting go of what no longer serves us does not have to be, you know, a lot. It can be
Yeah.
light and easy. It's just about acknowledging, a lot of the time, it's about acknowledging our emotions
Yeah. It's just the
and being
awareness of
true
it.
with ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I
Yeah.
feel like only what's ready to be released and what's ready to come out and be healed is going to come to the surface, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it happens in layers, is because we're not ready to release everything at once. That becomes an identity crisis, right? And
Yes.
so like it's too much for our human bodies and the
Yes.
way that our brains work with identity. And so that's why we heal in layers That's why, but you can trust if something is coming to the surface, it's ready to be released. It's ready to be healed or dealt with or have awareness of it or whatever. It's
Hmm.
only going to come to the surface when it's ready. And so it's just, having that awareness and that openness of, okay, like, I honor these feelings. I acknowledge that, they played a part in, getting me here and they served me at some point.
Hmm.
Thank you for that, but I release you, with love and light, whatever. But, it's coming up because it's ready to go out.
Yeah.
And you can trust
And I saw something, you actually sent it to me, like a meme thing on Instagram the other day that said, like, it was a person speaking to the universe,
that.
and she was complaining about, feel I don't want to get out of bed. She was feeling depressed, and the universe said, all you need to do is get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, but why am I feeling this way? And she said, because you're holding on to those feelings.
Yep.
So our resistance is us holding on and
Mm-hmm.
not wanting to move out of the old, because the unknown is scary,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Can be
that's our nervous
scary.
system responding. Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
And so, how would you talk about that, making our nervous system feel okay about moving out of the what we know that we
Yeah.
need to let go of to shift into the unknown to move forward?
Yeah. So the biggest thing with your nervous system is anything that feels scary, negative, or unknown is going to raise a red flag. So anytime you're having a shift or you want to change something, the change part is what is flagging your nervous system, creating that response. Whatever that response is, procrastination, resistance, whatever, it's getting flagged because of the unknown factor. And so when you can eliminate that unknown factor, creating safety, creating security within your physical body around what you want to happen. So when you're talking about like an identity shift, when you're wanting to shift into something, is the quickest, easiest way to do it is get into that. Like, I like to use visualization. So visualize what you want to happen, what you want to be doing as often as possible and make that feel comfortable. Add in feelings, add in, sit there and talk to yourself. I love doing this with like a weighted blanket so that
Mhm.
I'm sitting there adding safety, adding security. I love tapping on my chest or rubbing my chest, and then I'm just sitting there adding safety and like, okay, when I'm shifting, when I'm releasing this, I'm adding in love. I'm adding security. It's safe for me to let this go. It is safe for me to release this. We are moving on to something that's serving me better. So I'm using like body tactics to add safety to my body while I'm talking to myself, while I am making it less unknown and less scary. And I think all of those layers, like you're talking about, kind of create, but the whole object is to create safety within the
Mhm.
body so that it no
Mhm.
longer gets flagged as scary, right? So anything you
Yeah.
can do to make it feel safe and secure and known and comfortable is the purpose.
And for me, yes, I love what you said. And for me, what I think has been helping me over the last couple of months that I've been guided to do is movement.
Hmm.
And so for me, I don't know what I'm shifting sometimes,
Yeah.
but I will just like dance. And I like to do it in the shower because water is also, you can also program the water in the shower to help you release too. So
Yep.
every time I have a shower, I'm like, okay, water, I want you to just cleanse what no longer serves me, wash it down the drain away from me. And sometimes I'll be guided to dance in that shower. And like while I'm moving, it's just shifting that energy out of me.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you don't know what it is,
Hmm.
but and you can do that through any kind of movement. You can do it going for a walk. You just say to your highest self in your body, okay, whatever needs to go is going to release from me while I'm walking.
Yeah.
And if I do it while I'm walking, I'll be like, doing hand movements too, because I can feel it wants to shift
Yeah.
out of me. You can go to the gym and do it, maybe not hand movements in the gym, but
I do rebounding class, and so I set the intention that every rebounding class, as I'm jumping on the
Mhm,
little mini trampoline,
mhm.
every jump is releasing something that's no longer serving me, and I will yawn
I love
so much. Like, I'm not tired. Once I get out of the class, like, I'm fine, but it's yawning, hiccuping, coughing, sneezing are all signs that you're releasing that energy from your body. I will
Yep.
yawn the entire class and they're like, what is wrong with me? And like, I've got all this energy, but I'm just yawning. And I'm like, I'm doing double time. If I'm going to come here and I'm going to do this workout class, I'm going to double time it and make it worth
Yeah.
it. And like,
Yeah.
feel so I love using any kind of body movement. I love using showers and baths. And like we said, like every energy requires something different. So it's
Mm.
listening to that intuition of, I don't necessarily have to know what it is that needs to come out, but how does it want to be released? What is
Mhm.
that energy's preference? And, what's going to help it come out the cleanest, easiest way, I guess, is how I would say
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I get a lot of back pain and hip pain, and I think that I have a lot of ancestral energy stuck in my hips and my lower back from what I feel intuitively. And so that'll flare up every so often. I'm like, well, it's time to move that
Hmm.
out.
The hips has
um,
a lot to do, so those hold a lot of guilt and shame.
mm,
Um, so you
mm,
can look into those specifically in your lineage,
mhm,
but a lot of
mhm,
women just hold all of their energies more in their hips. I think that's because that's where
mm,
our center of gravity is, so that's kind of where it just naturally flows. Um,
mhm,
but yeah, any kind of like somatic movement, yoga, anything like that, walking that's like movement that is like, twerking and like hip shaking and whatever
mhm.
is really good because we as women just naturally hold like a lot more energies in our hips. And, that's
Yeah.
kind of like, where your womb area is, where your whole reproductive
Mhm,
system is. And that's a whole
mhm,
portal. We'll get into that in
mhm,
another, discussion,
mhm,
but
mhm.
there's a lot of power and there's a lot of really important space there for lack of a bigger, better word. So I think we hold a lot
Yeah.
of energy there. So we will say goodbye for now and we
Mhm.
will chat on the next one and share it with you guys.
Yes, we
We
will. Bye,
will.
everyone.